Hello, I want to share a story with you about contacting businesses and asking them to do better when it comes to packaging, systems. There's a lot of, I think, frustration from people at the moment that the businesses that they love are not quite getting on board yet, or haven't publicized perhaps. Maybe there's some things working in the background, what they're doing in terms of sustainability. And so I am sharing a story with you from back when I was living in Siem Reap, Cambodia. In the very early days of my time there, I actually really struggled. My stomach was really upset, and I started to worry that perhaps this place that I'd decided was going to be my home couldn't be, because I was just out of sorts so often and just didn't feel quite right. And then it really got quite severe, and I remember being at work one day and needing to physically lie down. Fortunately, the work I was doing at the time, which was when I was still working for an NGO, actually had a lot to do with another NGO, who was like a bit of an NGO hub, working in the medical field. So I was fortunate that there was, I believe, an English doctor who was in town at that time, and she chatted to me and we were talking about all of this, and still didn't get any headway. Eventually, with the help of my friend and colleague, I went to a Cambodian doctor, and his verdict was where I was buying my fruit and veg from was too high in pesticides, and it was not working with my system. It was upsetting my system, and that I should do my best to seek out organic produce. Now, this would have been probably early 2015, and to be honest, there wasn't a lot of organic produce easily available. It was actually the perception, which I hope is now changing, I think is now changing, that was the old-fashioned way of farming. And so people didn't really like, if they were doing organic produce, it felt like those farmers were not rich enough to afford, the fancy modern chemicals to maintain their farm. So it was a little bit harder to do. But there was one farm in town, Happy & Co farm, who were doing organic produce, which was great. And I had seen their products in the supermarkets. They weren't at any of the markets. There was a small farmers market on the weekend. So I started to change how I shopped to do that. And I remember returning after a small regional trip, probably to do training, and thinking, yep, okay, now I've got to stock up the fridge. I'm going to the supermarket. I'm going to get some of this Happy & Co organic produce. But when I walked into the refrigerator aisle where it was all kept, it was just, everything was wrapped in plastic, and it was so heartbreaking for me. And I thought, how am I going to do this? Like, I really can't feel comfortable. I know I need to eat organic produce in order to heal myself, but this amount of plastic ongoing is going to be horrific. I think I chose a few, or a limited, or maybe even like one kind of vegetable that I felt I could multi-purpose. I've definitely moved a lot further on my health and well-being path since then, but it is still a struggle for me to be able to go, okay, I'm going to buy that. It's in plastic. It still is really challenging. So on that particular occasion, I contacted Happy & Co, and I'm like, guys, I love what you're doing. I think this is amazing. However, I'm really struggling with the plastic packaging, and it's just not something that sits well with me. What are we going to do? And lo and behold, they wrote back and they said, well, we've been talking about doing a home delivery service, and maybe you can trial that with us. And so I was their first home delivery customer. They would come with a big basket or a big crate, depending how much I ordered, and then transfer my goodies into my own produce bag. So I'd either be there to receive or would leave out with the money. We had a very good trust system going on over there. Leave the money, leave the bag out, and get home to a beautiful array of organic vegetables. And after that, my health got significantly better. So much so that I ended up staying on another, 4 years. So there we go. So my story is about speaking up. Sometimes the temptation is that we will not buy from that business and we won't tell them. Now, as someone who works with businesses on sustainability, I think it's a great thing to let businesses know. And if you're a business owner or you're looking at this video in relation to your workplace, listen to what your customers are saying. So both things. We need to be receptive to the feedback. This is the environment that we're living in now. People want less packaging. People want to do better for the environment. And they want the businesses they buy from to be part of that solution for them. So don't be shy about writing or phoning or speaking to places about what they can do better. And as a business owner, don't be afraid to try new things in response to feedback that you've received from your customers. I hope that this has been informative and useful, and feel free to contact me if you want to chat about this any further. So thank you and see you soon.